Welcome to the Zachrilege Cast podcast YouTube video interview program that features me talking to some of the best and brightest in the atheist slash secular slash awesome community. This is episode 221. I recorded this interview on May 6, 2020. Thank you to Miss Ashley, Bobby, Shujin Tribble, Sober Susie, first time meeting her, and Bill for just hanging out. It was tons of fun and hopefully we'll do it again. Until I get back on the finding new guests train, the Atheist Happy Hour will have to be the format. I thought up this week's show on Wednesday morning, and by Wednesday night I had Amy Kuhel of the Ginger Snaps and Tucker Drake of the Atheist in a Trailer Park on for an hour of just hanging out. I had wine, and actually I was the only person to drink this episode. Good thing the other two talked. Let's chat about gaming, unexpected medical adventures, apocrypha, being an essential worker in a meat shortage world, and lots of cat interruptions. Honestly, this is the video to watch as we had 4 cats on the show. Let's start the conversation.
That boy is good. Good and terrible.
Welcome to the Zachrilege Cast, Atheist Happy Hour version. So we have Amy of the Ginger Snaps in the center location, the coveted center location, and then Tucker from Atheist in the Trailer Park, the only remaining Atheist Trailer Park podcast as far as I know.
I'm in a trailer park.
Congrats on quartering the market.
Thanks.
Welcome aboard. This is going to be kind of random. Talk about whatever you feel like. And Amy's going to send me dirty looks the entire time because I'm drinking.
See, you're over there, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right. I feel the force. The force is strong in this one.
God damn it. Ow! I was being an asshole and I hit my headphone cord and it pulled it out of my ears. And yeah, maybe karma is real.
Maybe.
It's bad for the brand, but I am drinking wine.
Dark. We can't see anything.
It just says.
Yeah, I'm in a guest room again because my wife does coaching and she's in the office next to mine. I don't have any soundproofing in my office and it's next door. So I go downstairs for this kind of thing. And I have every light on in here and like every window open. And yeah, this is like the dark. It is darkness.
Get a lamp. Okay.
Lamp's right behind me.
Here, check it out. I want to
show
show
you.
my
Shoulder, the glow. That's a lamp.
Oops. I want to show you something. Right. If you have an old laptop around, especially if it's backlit one, take it apart and get the parts out of the screen because they have backlight and the diffuser is how they do the backlight on an old laptop. And then you put this in front of your lamp and then you have a light diffuser like the professionals for your home studio. Ooh. And you have nice soft light on your face.
This is the kind of stuff that people who aren't drinking can come up with. So I'm usually better light, although honestly, like this starts on YouTube, this whole thing, but most people do the podcast version, so they're not even looking at us. But I like the microphone popping up.
It was excited.
Well, I used to have a curtain and a window blind in front of the window, but
hello, Deborah.
The cats have taken care of that.
Yeah, we have just like kind of a paper screen on one, and the cat just like, I'm in there. I'm going to rip up whatever I need to rip up.
What is wrong with your cats? My cat does not knock anything off the counter. She does not like piss or shit anywhere she's not supposed to. She doesn't knock or scratch the blinds. The only thing that she scratches is the things that she's supposed to, the little cat tower. What have you guys done to these cats?
Well,
why do you mistreat your pussy?
You're better at exactly. You're better at lighting. You're better at cats. Better at pussy. Exactly. Yeah, you got it all going on.
Well, Buddha is still a kitten, so that's why he likes climbing and destroying everything.
I don't like to adopt kittens. To be honest, I would rather adopt. When I adopted my cat, she was 1 or 2 years old, and adopted off the street, or she was a feral cat, and then I adopted her. So she's been the best kitty, and she's black because nobody will adopt black cats because America is stupid.
The best cat I ever had was a black cat, and I've always wanted to have another one. I've had a few, but I end up getting all the other colors in the rainbow, except for black cats when they show up at my door and need somebody to take them in.
You should be careful about rainbow cats. It'll turn the other cats gay.
That is what I've heard. Yeah, so what's the cat situation, Tucker? So you got Professor Fuzznuts who not loving you.
Yeah, I've got Buddha, who was the gray tabby you saw. I have Ash, who somebody dumped him here. He's a big cat. He's declawed. And I have to keep him in my room because if he and Fuzznuts are out together, they fight. And since he's declawed, he can't defend himself. Whoever had him before me declawed him. And then I have Lord Squeakington, who was a tuxedo cat who got in the house, and I haven't been able to get him out. So he got in and got into my room, and I've just left him there because him and Ash get along, and I can't get him out because Fuzznuts goes after him anytime Fuzznuts gets the chance, and Buddha goes in and plays with him sometimes. But I like to keep Buddha out with Fuzznuts because it keeps Fuzznuts occupied, and Fuzznuts is now giving me eat shit looks. He is still
he's like, I thought we had something special, and here you just keep bringing in any random cat off the street, you know.
Well, he's still mad at me over the flea medicine from Saturday. This is the longest he's ever been mad at me over it. It's usually a day at the most, but not now. He's not this
Cats
time.
hold grudges.
Yeah.
You know what we call that, guys? Having more than one cat?
What?
Polycaterous.
I don't know if that's approved. It's definitely not in the Bible. It's not in the New Testament.
In the Bible?
The t-shirt I have, the crazy cat guy one, I think Tucker's living that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
10 more years and I get to be the crazy cat lady.
10 more years.
Yes. According to the people who are involved in my other projects, I am a cougar and a MILF. I don't know what these terms mean, but I guess they're good. I don't know if they're making fun of me or not. I don't know why I'm on the internet because I'm fucking old. Eat.
No, you're fine on the internet. It's TikTok you got to stay off of.
Oh,
that's only for the under 30 crowd.
Isn't TikTok like the new Vine? And I think my cat just came in my room.
Yeah. Owned by the Chinese government.
Everybody's coming up with this new, like, I'm going to do a funny version of a song, and everybody, do a dance. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to do it.
Dance, sing a little song. Yes, you are Deborah. Call me later.
Deborah is a gilf. Yeah. So what's the current situation with the two of you? What's, how's your COVID quarantine treating you?
Oh, I'm a shut-in anyway. This is just my natural state.
I know.
And my therapist can't yell at me now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only bonus. Is like, well, she's like, have you gone out and socialized lately? And I can be like, no, COVID. And she's like, oh yeah. So this is great.
Well, I am an essential worker, and until this week, it's pretty much been normal to me. However, since I work for a company that processes meat and our suppliers are shutting down, there's not been a lot of work, so I'm off this week.
So you're not beating the meat this week?
No.
Good job.
Actually, I smoke the meat, but that's another story.
Wow.
Here we go.
Hi, kitty.
Scatsman.
Hi, kitty.
He is not happy.
Bye, baby.
I mean, see, he's a tuxedo.
Yeah.
And the reason we got him, and then we got his brother, who's pretty much 99% black. So yeah, 2 black cats for us.
My cat has 1 white hair on her chest.
I had a black cat for a while that had a white patch on his chest. So it looked sort of like he was wearing a necklace.
Really,
all the they need.
I just stream more. That's what I do, Zach. I've been doing that like almost every day.
So you've been doing the video game streaming?
The video games,
Well, I'm, I feel like I'm 2 generations behind because I play Wii, which I got, a decade ago. And I still have the 6 games I bought in 2012. So I'm playing those for like the fourth time. But so what are you doing right now? What's the current game?
What
You
the current
rotate?
well, yeah, I do rotate. That's why I got a chair.
Polygamorous. Hey, you go.
Yeah, I am polygamorous, and that's why I got the swivel chair so I can rotate.
Nice.
God, I'm full of shit jokes.
You can play two controllers at once. Yeah, no, I usually do like the joke at the end, but I feel like this is just constant flow of goodness.
Yes, well, unfortunately, I'm a constant flow. So I do rotate. There's a couple games that I like to play. I'm doing Minecraft and modded Minecraft Sky Factory 3 right now. And you two know exactly what I'm talking about. I could see the fucking excitement on your face.
Yeah, so what's the platform of choice for that?
Computer.
Just no.
The thing in front of me.
Nice.
Yeah, that's why I've got the nice looking mic and the nice and the green screen program and everything that I turned off because I was just being a smart ass really before the show. So for all that stuff and the lighting. And unfortunately, people have to see my face. Podcasting is a lot better because they don't see my face. And doing anything live really kind of sucks because when you fuck up, there's not really anything you can do to hide it. You can't edit it out. You're just like, oh, well, I did that. That was stupid. Hi.
Yeah, but when have you screwed up? Like, is this going to happen sometime in the future? Or? Your perfection. That's what I'm trying to say. You got this.
You've seen me naked, haven't you, Zach?
I'm surprised everybody's been quarantined and here we're all we're wearing shirts, you know? Last week, I think the last time I did a show, somebody's like, are you wearing anything? Do you want to know if I'm wearing anything else? The answer is no.
Well, you know, for the patrons, I podcast naked.
For the patrons, I send them videos of naked cats.
Technically, okay, wait, cats are always naked.
No, that they sometimes wear a collar, so they're not fully naked.
Ours don't.
I wear a collar when I'm naked.
I know. See, that's a personal preference right there.
Technically, I'm not wearing pants. Does that make you feel better?
Much better.
This is a dress. I'm not sitting like a lady, so it's a good thing this isn't a full body cam. You could have one hell of a show. Or
Deborah in the chat room saying hasn't worn clothes in 2 months, but you know, what's new, right?
Yeah, I don't. When did Deborah wear clothes?
That's not part of the brand. Yeah,
I'm confused. Deborah. What? I don't know. Hey, look, there's a polymath. Oh my God.
Hey.
Yeah, Chris Watson's in the chat room. So, fellow Nashvilleian person who I've brought beer to in Nashville, and
God, I want beer. Shut up. I
actually still had a couple left from my Nashville trip. I'm getting pretty low on that, but yeah, clearly everybody in the chat room, if you got a few extra bucks, Amy will tell you where to, maybe a brewery or two in your area, and you can send some stuff. Do you have requests? Like, do you have a favorite style or that you would like?
Well, yeah, I do have a favorite style, and if you've ever seen me on the show before, you should know my favorite style, and it is definitely IPA, right, Chris? IPAs. No.
IPAs are the devil. Yeah. Yeah, we could have we joke about like controversies in the atheist community. It's like we could have a knockdown, throwdown battle. Like, our IPA is the devil because
yes, they are.
They are terrible.
Actually, okay, so there are some IPAs I do like. I had an IPA from one of the local brewery. It is called Ninja versus Unicorn, and it's an IPA, but it's not so fucking bite you in the face. And it's nice. And when it's a very, very hot day, it's a very good drink to have, a very cold IPA. But I do prefer stouts. But I do have to admit that when it's hot outside, a stout, it kind of makes you feel full. It kind of makes you, it's not a good, it's like summery drink. So I tend to change, even though my go-to is a stout. It's a nice, hearty, dark, thick stout. Maybe I should say that.
Thick is important. Yeah, it's...
thick.
Ocean in the beer ocean is important. I don't know. I drink Dragon's Milk, whether it's July or January. I don't even think breweries now are, of course, in a different era. But what's cool now is these breweries that make this beer once a year. Now they're just pumping it out because people are actually buying. Well, some people are buying beer. So like certain limited beers are actually more available, and like stuff in stores that would be gone in a week is like sitting on shelves. So that at least you have that going for you. But
Deborah's smart too. Look at that. Look at that comment. Yeah, fucking solidarity, sister. Thank you.
Well, Deborah's a big fan of the IPAs. I don't know. It's one thing that confuses me is something called like a milkshake IPA. So it's like all this sweet stuff and then bitter. It just seems like, hey, I just had some orange juice. Let me brush my teeth, or vice versa. It just doesn't seem like it works. But I totally understood. Tucker, do you have favorite beers styles?
Stouts tend to be what I like. I've actually quit drinking, so.
Well,
you can have a root beer. It has the same kind of color as a stout. Yeah. So
I actually saw somebody posted one of the beer things I follow. They actually have a milk stout where they somehow filtered out the booze. So it's like a no alcohol milk stout. I'm like, huh, interesting. My cat's just rubbing against me. It's like, hey, you doing? How you doing?
Yeah. There are. I don't know if you've ever had any. I mean, it's not alcoholic. It's they're called distillates. It's things made sort of like how you would make liquor, but there's absolutely no alcohol in it. And it's not one of those. They don't make it so that there's alcohol and then they process the alcohol out of it. They, however they process it, it never develops alcohol. Those are pretty good, but they're just as expensive as alcohol. And it's like, no. I mean, they had some at Big Lots of all places, and it was like $3. So I figured I'd buy it to see what it was like, and I was like, really? Oh wow, this is great. And then I went and looked up how much it cost normally elsewhere, and it was $20 a bottle. And I'm like, no, it's not that good. I mean, it's nice it's a nice thing, even if you do regularly drink alcohol, to have something like it, because it has, like the same mouthfeel of liquor, and the taste is in the same band, even though it doesn't taste exactly like any alcohol you'd have. But it's just too expensive. The stuff I had, I forget the name of it, but it tasted a lot like Saint Germain. So it was, it was nice, and it was something if you had a few minutes and you wanted a little something, but you didn't want to catch a buzz before you did something else, it was great. But not what $25 a bottle, and since the Big Lots ran out of them,
darn you, Big Lots.
Yeah, and that my camera's doing that on its own. I don't know why it keeps zooming in and zooming out.
It's just showing off the sexy,
I guess.
So as someone who is an essential worker who's not essential anymore, do you have any warnings, Tucker, for us? Because, as someone who orders food via Instacart, noticing that meat prices are going up, are we about to be in for like a rude awakening and meat to be disappearing and or costing a ton of money?
If people don't panic, you'll be fine. But of course, people will probably panic and buy it all up.
3 months to get toilet paper. So yeah.
When do people panic in the United States?
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah, but the big issue is that the meat packing plants. I don't work at one of those. We make barbecue at the facility I work at. We're the largest barbecue facility in the country. But at the meat packing plants, the people, those have like 1,000 employees or more in the facility, and they're all crammed together. So what they have to do to handle the issues with infections is just spread the people out more, rather than having them side by side and everything like that. We had a scare at our facility because about a month and a half ago, I guess, maybe not quite that long, they had a nursing home in town that had 100 people, including staff and patients, who got infected with the coronavirus. One of the staff members happened to be married to a supervisor where I work. And rather than shutting down our facility to decontaminate and implement a lot of measures, they just sent him home for 2 weeks and have gradually introduced mitigation things. And when I say gradually, I mean gradually. Like their first step was to do some extra cleaning. And then like a week later, they brought out barricades to separate the people that work on the line. So they weren't, so they had something between them. So, and then and in between that, they added extra stations that squirt out sanitizer. And then they've started adding, now when you walk in, there's I guess a nurse, they're in scrubs, who they scan you with one of those thermometers to see if you're running a fever. And if you are, you can't come to work. And they're handing out masks and things like that. But the problem that scares me is not so much the conditions at work, because they're taking this shit seriously, is the town I live in, because we're not. Because our governor, as soon as, he announced on May 1st, that starting May 1st, we're opening back up. And as soon as he said that, I started seeing fewer and fewer people out in public wearing masks, and more people out in public.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who lives in Georgia, I think we led the country. We led, got out open so quick that even Trump was like, I don't know, guys.
Yeah.
Which is never a good sign. Although I'm pretty sure privately he was like, cool.
Yeah.
Because we have the senator who got appointed who's like, yeah, I sold on my stock when I heard about coronavirus and made a bunch of money, and I'm super rich anyway. It's terrible. Yeah. Welcome to Georgia.
Yeah. Well, and, our governor failed to do anything. That the day before Trump announced that, we need to take this shit seriously, was the day that he started talking about mitigation efforts. Meanwhile, the mayor of Nashville had already done some stuff.
Soy does not like to be on camera.
Oh, come back, kitty. We need you instead of Zach.
He's a better interviewer for sure. Good questions.
I spent 5 days of the stay-at-home order in the hospital, so that was nice.
Oh, that sucks.
That was fun. Apparently, I had to have surgery, and they stole an organ while I was sleeping. It was really fucked up, but I mean, I paid them to do it, so I don't.
Was it your organ?
It was my organ.
Okay.
It was my organ.
Was it a Hammond organ?
No. No, I would never give up my Hammond.
Okay, so what? Can you tell the story?
Oh, you won't? Oh, no.
Please.
I had to have my gallbladder out because it was all clogged up, and when I said it fucking sucked. I've never actually been hospitalized or had surgery, so it was terrifying. And my dad couldn't come with me. He's the one who took me there. Went to the emergency clinic and been like, "Hey, I've got really bad abdominal pain and I've been throwing up." And they're like, "We're going to do an ultrasound," and they did an ultrasound, and my gallbladder was just laparoscopic, Deborah. I looked over at the ultrasound picture. The ultrasound tech was going, "Ooh, oh God!" I'm like, "Don't do that."
Yeah, medical professionals, like, "Ooh,
yeah,
never did that before."
I'm like, I looked at her. I'm like, "Don't do that. What do I have? Cancer? Am I having a baby? What?" And she's like, "No, that looks painful," and it was. And I looked over at the screen, and I'm not an ultrasound tech, but I could tell that was done fucked up. That was a mess of gallbladder stones, and so they sent me to the hospital. And 2 days later, I was went under the knife, and then woke up, and I didn't have an organ anymore. The doctors have no sense of humor, by the way. Fucking doctors. He came in.
They're not the real heroes.
He came in and he explained it to him. And he's like, "Do you have any questions?" And I'm like, is there a core? And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Is there a core charge for that? Do I get some money back? You're taking my organ. Do I get a discount?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, that shit was funny. It was a little funny.
Yeah, when I was a kid, my grandfather had his gallstones and gallbladder in jars at home.
That's disgusting.
You know, I never asked in a totally weird, random story. So my wife had her gallbladder removed, and then I had my appendix removed by the exact same doctor because I was having weird stomach pains and sickness like every 2 months, and no one could figure it out. And I actually saw the doctor when it happened. He's like, "Oh, that's your appendix. It needs to get out now." And it was the same. And the laparoscopic. It's like they're like, whoop, they just vacuum it out in like 5 seconds, and it's gone.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me be awake for it. I wanted to watch, but you know.
And they had to put the leg things on. I don't know if you had those that were like,
yeah.
And then the best part, so it was like 3 a.m. This nurse comes into the room. My wife's sleeping next to me, and they go, "When did you pee?" It's like, "When's the last time you peed?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm asleep. Help."
Yeah, it was.
Get up and go to the bathroom because you had to take these things off that were like electrical currents through legs, so you don't get a blood clot, that kind of thing.
I had never had an IV. I had the IV buddy, and I had to take him to the bathroom with me, and they were doing the same thing, and then like they would come in at 2:00 in the morning and be like, "How you sleeping?" I'm like, "I don't know. I saw you a fucking hour ago."
That's the weird thing about nurses is someone who's spent a lot of time in hospitals. Like they tend to visit like at night, and you sleep weird, especially when you have surgery. You're supposed to like pretty much when you're done, you sleep constantly, and they just wake you up every 2 hours. Like when you've reached that REM sleep, they're like, "All right, time to wake this person up and do a random test on them."
Well, yeah, and they would come in and take vitals and everything. They came into my room at night more before the surgery than they did after. After the surgery, I saw that I only spent 1 or 2 more nights in the hospital. I can't wait for the bills. God, America, I just can't wait for those bills. Capitalism. But yeah. Oh God, the nurse I had on my last day in the hospital, she was hot. She was so hot, and I was the only person on the floor. She came in a lot, and I was happy. But yeah, they came in, and the only time I could sleep the day before, because I was in so much fucking pain, was when they were giving me morphine, and then I would sleep for an hour and a half, and then I'd wake up again. I'd never had morphine. I don't like morphine, but it took the pain away.
At least it did something.
Yeah.
I've had
How are you
morphine.
feeling now?
I feel fine. It's been 3.5 weeks. I have 5 little hole cuts in my tummy, and the only thing is like I'm really, really tired all the time. Like my nurse friend said that's normal, like after surgery, but that's it. I have no stamina for fucking anything. I'll go for like 4 hours, and it's time for a nap. So it's a good thing
I kind of like that plan.
I'm complaining. Yeah, no, everything's better now. My body is getting used to not having a gallbladder, and it's fine. It was my first time dealing with a hospital, dealing with surgery, and I had to do it completely alone when I didn't want to be completely alone because they wouldn't let anybody in the hospital or the clinics besides the patient, and that fucking sucked.
Yeah.
It was terrifying. And
because all the COVID stuff, they were just like,
yeah, that's because of all the
safe.
Yeah. But on top of that, like, dude, I was in a Catholic hospital because it's the fucking Midwest, and
everywhere.
Yeah. Catholic Church now owns most of the hospitals in the
cat
country.
noises everywhere. I like this. Best cat episode ever.
Come here. Say hi. Say hi to YouTube. Hi, baby.
Oh wow, looks just like this toy. Nice.
Yeah,
She's wearing a collar.
Yeah. Well, I'm not letting my cat run around naked. Jesus.
That's some kind of weirdo.
Yeah. Fuck. That's fucking bizarre. What are you talking about? I have no idea what I was saying before the cat interrupted me. Yeah. Nobody's in the hospital because of the COVID shit. Yeah. I was just Catholic hospital. Being pre-op trans girl and like being read as cis was terrifying as well, because they came in and they're like, you got to strip down completely for the surgery, and I'm like, I don't want to Can I just go now?
Yeah.
That's terrifying. And of course, the nurse, the surgery nurse asked me, no shit, 9 to 17 times whether I had implants. I'm like, nope. 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 One time I did answer, oh, wait, yeah, there's that one from that alien abduction a month ago. But I mean, that's okay. Their technology is highly advanced.
It's tough, but yeah.
I thought it was funny, but nobody
asked a lot. Weird. They're not so jokey in the hospital.
Yeah, in the fucking OR. I don't like it. I would joke all the time. Like, I would come in, that ultra, like, homophobic dude and be like, yeah, we got to take your balls. I would get fired really quick is what I'm saying.
So it's not a potential job thing.
And I thought about going into nursing when I was younger, and then I realized who I was.
Yeah, nursing's tough. Like my sister-in-law has been going back to school like for it seems like a decade, and still has like 1-2 levels to go to be an official like LP. Yeah, that cat's like, I'm chilling, and this is awesome.
Yeah, my cat does not like to be picked up, but she likes to stare at me from like right there. And go, meow, meow. And then I try to pet her and she walks away. A fucking bitch.
My cat, loves the stare at me. And I'm like, you want to jump in my lap? And, I don't know. I'm gonna tease you a little bit. Until I go.
My cat only likes to jump in my lap when I'm doing something with the keyboard. So.
Oh, yeah. The keyboard is the best place to lay down. It's awesome.
I had a cat that I could sit on the couch for hours, like watching TV. But the moment the thought entered my mind, I need to get up and do something. Boom! She was on my lap demanding attention.
Yep.
And I mean, I hadn't even moved at this point. It was just, it would click in my head. Oh, I need to take, I need to throw the laundry in the dryer. Boom! She was on my lap.
Yeah, cats are assholes. I wonder if I can get her to do it. I can just watch a random video on the YouTubes, and she's really jealous of the phone.
YouTube compression.
See if I can get her to.
Defeated my eyes. I think defeated my head. Defeated the monitor. I feel like even just.
Nope, she's not gonna do it. She's gonna lick her ass.
Cats never do anything on command.
No, not when you want to, But yeah, you'll be sitting on the couch, right? And she'll be somewhere else entirely. She'll be fucking hidden from view. She'll be outside. She'll be at the neighbor's house. She'll be at her girlfriend's house. Whatever. The moment I play something like a video on Reddit or a TikTok or something on YouTube, she's in my lap going meow 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 meow, like that.
There you go. So
and
how's Ginger Snaps doing?
Well, I mean, we took a month off because I was sick.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, we're back to it. We're past 100 episodes, so.
Well, congrats on that.
Yeah.
You could have celebrated with me, but that's fine. We'll just sit here stoically.
Yes, we will.
Yes,
when I was doing
affair.
Doing a 3-year later kind of talk about ReasonCon a couple weeks ago, I was like, well, there's still some podcasts from them that are going, like For Wrath, and they were like, oh yeah, we're doing a new podcast. It's different. I'm like, really? Damn, there's not much left that was around 3 years ago. I thought, Tucker had given it up too, but you just can't quit the pod, can you, man?
I can't quit the money. I mean, it ain't a lot, but I need the extra cash.
We're supposed to get paid for that shit.
I get a trickle via Patreon, and that's some months that's the difference between whether or not I get to eat. So,
yeah, I mean, Patreon comes in and it basically pays for the hosting and the software that I use. That's all it pays for. So the show pays for itself. And so the only bit of money I get is when it streams in from my other Patreon for the gaming, and that's my $4 a month that I get to spend.
Oh boy.
Spend it well.
Yeah, well, I haven't been doing the streaming for 4 years. So, Yeah, we've been streaming since. Well, I've been streaming since ReasonCon. New co-host has only been doing it for a year and a half, maybe 2. But I mean, I was around in 2016.
Is it sad to say since ReasonCon, because that's 3 years ago, 2017.
Yeah, I didn't get to go. And then I was in a position to go like to the next one, and then they canceled the whole thing forever. I was like,
I was really disappointed in that. I don't quite understand Gene's reasoning. He said that it was just too much trouble, but really, if he'd have just, he said it was too much trouble rounding up hosts or guests and things like that. Really, all he needed was the scathing crew, and the rest of us would just show up and hang out and get drunk and act stupid, and that would have been fine. We didn't need, a big keynote speaker. Or, I mean, that's nice and all, but
I did. I needed it. I need it all.
It's all about what Amy needs.
It is. That's why I'm in the center.
But honestly, yes.
Center of attention.
Doing a conference where it was like the not conference thing, that just everybody hang out part, seemed to work. Because I went to NanoCon the last couple times, but it was mainly because it was in Nashville and it was easy to go to. But after a while, I was like, I don't need to hear the speakers. I'm just gonna. And it was weird doing like that. Like for years, you're like, oh, it'd be really cool to do like a podcast panel. And then you do it, and you're like, there's actually more people talking
on the panel.
Because the last year we did it in like a gymnasium, and there were 4 of us talking, and there were like 6 people in the audience. We're like, woo! We could tell, like, yeah, this whole conference thing is not working out. I don't know. Maybe people need to do the virtual Zoom kind of gathering conference just because everybody's at home anyway. So
you should be
like
more
Zoom conference of 3.
I
should be more.
Yes.
Well, I've been dreaming of that. It's just, thank you for reminding me.
What you do is you do Discord and you do Jackbox games. That's what you do.
I've heard of Discord, not Jackbox.
Jackbox, they're like people bringing together games. They're like board games, but on the TV, the computer, or the PS3, or even the Wii. And they're a lot of fun, They're a lot of fun.
Well, I've had a friend who's been doing, there's a version you can do like Cards Against Humanity, remotely. And he's been doing that for weeks, and people have been showing up for that.
I will teach you how to Discord, Zach, and then next time we do Jackbox, I will bring you in for Jackbox on the Discord, and I will show you how much fun it is and why you should have Discord as a media mogul that you are.
So what can you explain Discord for the Discord virgins?
For Chris and Deborah and Tucker and Zach.
Uh-huh.
Discord is
for me.
Who said I was watching? I got Minecraft over there.
Mm-hmm.
Click.
Crafting some mimes. Oh wait, mine.
Sorry. I've been working on the railroad. Discord is a general chat app that you can do chat, voice, even picture and streaming. Like you can stream to the Discord app, and have all your people, your guests, your friends, your patrons, whoever you want to get together, and then they can interact with you, the podcaster, the person, the Tucker, the Zach, the Deborah, the postmodern polymaths. Well, one shows up, and then they call me in an emergency because the other didn't show up, and then the other shows up, and then I'm stuck in the middle again. Like now, I'm the white meat again. Mm-hmm. I'm the white meat in this bologna sandwich on white bread.
This is quite pale as usual.
But yeah, I mean, it's you can do the text, you can do the talk while you play video games and do other things. It's a great multi aspect app, and it's a way for people to interact with you when you do the video games and when you do the streaming and the YouTubes and stuff like that. It being accessible to your fans. Or your viewers. I shouldn't say fans. That's kind of conceited. I'm not that great. Being accessible gets you kind of more of a dedicated following.
Very dedicated. I like that.
And it just the shit thing is you gotta answer all the time. One freaky thing did happen to me. Oh my god, this really fucked me up. So I'm pretty new at the streaming video gaming thing, right? And I'm also pretty old, and I'm not that great to look at. But a couple of the people who are actual big fans of the podcast came over to the stream because I pimp Williams stuff on the podcast that he does separately from the podcast. I pimp my stuff that I do separately from the podcast, right? And so I got them on the Discord, and we're all in the video chat. We're all playing a game together on a server. Servers are computers in other places. They keep the memory and all that stuff, and you just connect to it via the internet. Now the internet, Zach, is
a series of tubes.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's made in Australia. Australia is in Southern Europe. Anyway, talking to him one day, and these two people are like, "Hey, can we tell you something?" And I'm like, "What?" And these two girls are both like, "This is really surreal for me." And I'm like, "Why is it surreal?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm talking to my hero." And I'm like, "The other girl's name is your hero? I mean, that's cool. She's a cool person." They're like, "No, you." And I'm like, don't tell me that shit. Don't tell me I'm your hero. Do you know what kind of pressure that is? Like, I'm a fuck up. I don't even have a job. I'm not a hero. So, yeah. I got two people.
Apparently you are a hero.
I had two people that called me their hero, Eugene Levy eyebrows. What? I trimmed them. Fuck, Zach.
Well, Deborah, who says she never wears clothes, is Frida.
Frida. Yep. I
was like, you wore costumes? Really? That's crazy talk.
They're like Emperor's New Groove. No, Emperor's New Clothes costumes. Oops.
That's a different thing altogether.
Yeah. So yeah, I got it's a very small thing, right? Just two people are like, you're my hero, and I get to play games with you now, and I'm like, that's really surreal, and I'm like, don't, oh, damn it. It's a lot of pressure.
It makes me think back, and I jokingly said in my last episode, it's like, oh, maybe I'm over this whole ReasonCon thing, but it is interesting when we were there, like the Scathing Atheist people were in the cognitive dissonance, like they were like superstars in their normal lives. People were like, who are these guys? But at that conference, it was like, oh, just to talk to no one Heath about like football and just random stuff was like a crazy thing. But it's nice to have approachable people when it's relatively speaking they're big time.
Yeah.
I just never thought about being quote unquote internet famous. That just I do the podcast.
You're there.
Yeah, well, I do the podcast. No, two people is not internet famous. That's not even D-list, yo. I didn't even get invited to the party when I was a temp at the serving agency. Negative Z list. I have to use Z because it's like foreign Canada stuff. Where nobody pays attention to Canada.
Close. You can cross the border real easy, right?
And that's why I live. That's why I live up here. It's quick escape, just in case. That's being queer in America. You need an escape route over the northern border. Yeah. I do the podcast because I want to have a positive impact on people's life. I want to keep them informed. I want to spread the idea of skepticism, especially in the queer community, where the atheists and stuff like that. That's pretty common, but there's still a lot of theists in the queer community, and they're not always brought into the atheist community or the skeptics community, because most people who do that are frankly white and straight and male. So. That's why I do the podcast, is I want to do the queer stuff. And there's also a lot of misinformation, a fuck ton of misinformation in the trans community when it comes to medicine and stuff like that. And that's why I do that. So I didn't do it to be famous, didn't do it to be a hero. I did it because I want to be that educator, because that's who I am. I do the video games to be famous, and that's why I'm failing.
Well, at least you have goals, right?
Realistic ones.
So Tucker, are you still reading the Apocrypha stuff from the Bible?
Yeah. I've gotten through, well, the Apocrypha I've gotten through. The stuff I'm into now are the it's other works that have turned up in recent years. This is all stuff that has turned up between like the 8th century and the early part of the 20th century, before the Nag Hammadi and the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered. So, and it's some stuff, it's things I've never heard of before. And there's like some of it. There was one thing that just turned up, and somebody found it in a book in like the 19th century. Like, they found this ancient manuscript in the book. And so right now it's these various acts of the different apostles after Jesus was crucified. And it's pretty funny because I'm reading the Acts of John, not John the Baptist, but John the disciple. And you're reading it, and it's like they mentioned some kind of historical event. And it's like, let me just look this up and see what it is, when this happened, to try, because there's nothing in the material saying when the book was written or thought to have been written. And you read this, and it's like, it's written, the event that they're talking about happened in 400 CE. No way anybody who was hanging around with Jesus could have has seen something that happened in 400 CE. So this is a late forgery.
Yeah, I probably should reach out to Bart Ehrman, because I feel like I've read, and like, of anyone who I haven't had on my show, I've listened, because I just finished his Heaven and Hell book, which just came out. And then I was listening to one of those great courses things about like the church fathers, like the writings that didn't make it into the Bible.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to ask at least one question about that, because it is all that old stuff. Like, one of the old books they found, it was one of the Gospels that didn't make it, was like some guy was in Turkey and they were wrapping old papers up in like fish they were giving away. And somebody's like, wait a second, this is an ancient Greek. And it was like a gospel they hadn't heard of, like Gospel of Thomas or Gospel of Judas, which is a different thing. But it is amazing, all that stuff that is out there, that some of it was just found, like in the last century.
Yeah.
And some of it was from, the year 800. And it's like, actually, he's quoting a book from 400, which doesn't exist, but he's quoting it. So we know it's something else.
Yeah. I've tried to get Bart Ehrman on, but the last time I asked him, he said he's not doing interviews anymore. So I don't know.
That sucks.
Well, I had on a local guy, American Free Thought, who had him on like 3 weeks ago, because he had a new book come out. Because he's apparently like a professor, but he's on permanent sabbatical, because somehow Bart Ehrman has figured out, I'm going to write books about biblical history, and he's making a living doing it.
Yeah,
he's not something that, like, for sort of mainstream audiences. So I don't know. I suppose I should reach out, but there'd be so many questions. So many questions, man.
Yeah, because really, because I've listened to, I think, all of his great courses, because I know he's got one on the Dead Sea Scrolls. He's got, one on the Gnostics and the other alternate forms of Christianity that existed until the Catholic Church slaughtered everybody else. And one other, I don't remember what it is. And I've listened to those.
Catholic Church, I know.
And so, in listening to all this stuff, I'm like, man, I just cannot believe that there really was an individual named Jesus that inspired all this stuff, which Bart thinks there was. And I'm like, that's what I'd love to interview him about. It's like, your stuff convinced me that there wasn't a Jesus, yet you think there was. Well,
he did write an entire book that was about the historicity of Jesus, and it sounded like the mythicists, the people who believe he didn't exist, or at least doubt it, were like, yeah, that was one of his worst books. But I don't know, there's some of Bart Ehrman, like, he is an atheist and he's very open about it, but he's still kind of accepted as a mainstream kind of scholar.
Yeah,
so he goes along with things, but there are like aspects, like I forget, there are certain aspects of like the resurrection and things that he's like, yeah, I thought that was probably true, and now I don't think so. So maybe it's just over time it'll change.
Yeah, well, because about the resurrection, I think it was his last book or the book before that, and when he was doing these tours of various things, he said that he thought that the whole scene at the tomb was an exaggeration of actual events, that there was somebody who went to the tomb and, whatever. And then he decided to research what happens. And that's when he discovered, if you were crucified, the Romans didn't let you get buried. You had to stay on that cross until your body rotted off and the dogs dragged your bones
who got
away.
Crucified was put in a like common grave. And they were like, yeah, this with Joseph of Arimathea guy, and then they're like, yeah, we don't have any record that this person existed, but there weren't a lot of records because this was, like I'd say the Tennessee or Minnesota of the old school,
Yeah,
I know.
but he was.
I've insult my guests at the end of the show. Is that working good for you?
But actually, there are a lot of
harder,
records.
Daddy. Insult me harder, Daddy.
I have to send you a beer. Clearly. Well, one of you two. I'll send beer minus the beer to Tucker. Gluten-free, no alcohol beer. Try that out, man. That sounds delicious.
No.
Yeah, Nestle water. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
The historicity of Jesus. Did a person named Jesus live in the time of Jesus? Probably a bunch of them. Were there ever any supernatural beings like Jesus? No. Is the Bible a culmination of many things written by other people? Yeah. I mean, why do people have this argument? I don't.
Well, it's nobody says, hey, there must have been a person who inspired the myth of Zeus. There may have been somebody who inspired the myth of Zeus.
It was me.
But, that's so long ago in prehistory, nobody cared.
Haven't watched the show yet. Come on.
So how do we know that, the story of Jesus isn't the same way that, there was just some random guy and they copied, one thing he did and it exploded from there?
There's a... okay. Yeah, I mean, no doubt. But I mean, what are they going to say in 1,000 years about Joseph Smith if humans keep going?
Well, there's enough documentation about Joseph Smith.
But will it survive?
Yeah.
I mean, will we survive? But
I was wondering, like, with no recording of anything, like 50 years after Martin Luther King's death, what would have been said about him? Like, would it have been overblown since he had such an impact? And,
that's kind of my underlying point is, it's a myth, and myth gets larger and larger and larger as it's told, because that's just the way human brains work. We can't translate information exactly because we don't have photographic memories. We're not computers. We don't take pictures.
Yeah.
So that's my simple point of not knowing anything about this and feeling like I need to belong in the conversation.
I had an iPhone 5 back then, and hi, Jonathan Ganesh is someone I haven't seen in my chat room before. So hi, welcome to the thing. We've gone, 52-ish minutes. I feel like we've had a decent happy hour. Clearly, I need to send.
Is this the
Amy
first?
Some beer.
Is this the first time you've gone 52 minutes?
By far. Without medical assistance.
Aren't you glad I'm here? Aren't you glad I'm here?
I am so glad. I'm glad you were like, hey, come on. I'm like, yes, this is going to be good. We're going to have good times. So, Amy, where can people find your glorious content and, Discord and all that stuff?
To Ozymandias. To find the podcast, go to any podcatcher of your choice. That's called The Ginger Snaps. Don't just type in Ginger Snaps because that's a weird defunct podcast. Type in The Ginger Snaps and you'll find me and another wonderful human being. It's science, skepticism, and news through the lens of two very queer people. Otherwise, if you want to find me on the Twitch, you go to the thing right here. It's spelled wrong for a reason because somebody else stole my name. So you go to that, go to Twitch, and you type in the wrong, it's not porn, sis Amy. That's weird. Somebody said that to me once. It's Princess Amy on Twitch and on YouTube, and you can middle of the days on weekdays and sometimes at night on the weekends is when I stream video games.
Is it ironic that you have sis as part of your name?
Ooh.
It is now.
Thank you. All right, Tucker. Where can people find you? You should just do videos of all your cats, but that's not the case. You do a podcast.
If you go to tparkpodcast.com, that's where the show notes go. Any podcatcher you can think of, if you type in Trailer Park, The Atheist in the Trailer Park, it'll bring my show right up. And I try to put them up on Sundays, but that doesn't always work depending on my real job schedule. And that's
having a regular schedule. I mean, sure, it works for the Puzzle and the Thunderstorm people, but the rest of us, not so much.
God, a regular schedule and scripting and organization and practice beforehand, sound checks. Who would do
wait, practice?
Who would do any of that shit? Tell you what, I tell you what we talked about when me and Noah met.
What did you talk about?
How picky we are on planning the show and scripting and having the minutes exactly right. I've loosened up a little bit, but that's only because I'm trying to make a co-host stick around instead of leave me again. I'm so lonely.
That's why I don't go with the co-host, just the cats.
I'm fucking boring without somebody to play off of. All right.
Well, that's why I do the interviews. The other person talks, and I sit there and drink. It's a glorious thing. It works for everybody. It's as it should be. Well, Amy and Tucker, thank you for showing up tonight for the sort of first, maybe second Atheist Happy Hour. Maybe I'll give it a shot every week because it's good for content and it's good for cats. This is the first show, I think, in the history of the show where 3 cats have made an appearance. So that's actually 4.
Baby.
And it's the first show I've been on there. Fuzznuts hasn't decided to interfere.
Yeah, he's like, I've been there before. Zachrilege cast is very, very low downloads, so I understand. Well, thank you again.
Thank you for having me, Zach. I appreciate you.
Thanks.
Fuck you, and fuck you. Who's next?
Let's say you're in one of 2 places right now. Either you're struggling with your own situation and you want a distraction, you want to try to help somebody else. Or you're one of those fortunate people like I am who still has that day job, just kind of stuck at home all the time. Well, if you want to be able to help people, you sure can, and I'll give you 2 causes at the moment. There's the Secular Week of Action fundraiser, although I think they ran it up and did 10 days. You can do a virtual 5K and support Black nonbelievers, community movement builders, and the Foundation Beyond Belief at America's favorite healthcare option, GoFundMe. Link will be in the show notes. Speaking of the atheist community and what has transpired over the years, 6 years ago, a bunch of content creators got together to help Mubarak Bala get out of a psychiatric institution in Nigeria that his father put him in for the egregious offense of not being a Muslim. Bala is the president of the Humanist Association of Nigeria today, and he was just arrested for blasphemy. Atheist Alliance International has continued a tireless campaign to find out what has happened to this brave man. Check show notes for details. If you want to support this show, be like Freethinker215, Alan Marks, Hugh-Man, Chris of the Postmodern Polymath Podcast, Larry Darrell, and the other Darrell. Go to patreon.com/Zachrilege. Over the next few months, I will not be charging people, so you can get on there for free right now and get bonus cat videos. Follow me on Twitter, like my Zachrilege Cast page on Facebook, and send all mail to zachrilege.cast@gmail.com. Thank you to Amy, Tucker, and many cats for being on this week. Who's coming up? Next week, Joseph Smith's God willing, I will finally get YouTuber Exmo Lex on the show. Until then, let's continue the conversation.